So Tara, please screen share the text. And yeah. So we imagine we offer the whole of the universe and all the marvelous merits and all the good fortune, whatever is wonderful from all the supermarkets, from all the FPMC centers. And we imagine this as a huge offering to the teachers and to the Dharma and rejoice in this offering. Sashi perki yukshing neto trabri rablinji nihide kyanpai sange shindu nekte rubadi rokunanda shingla chirpaksho jetsun lama dampakyenam keche kikala kense trusin tri jita sampe duje zimala Sake Turki Japa Raptu So Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamya Chayami. Thank you, and please remember to mute yourself right now as I hand over the word to Geshe-la. And again, welcome, Geshe-la.
Yeah, so since you have already recited the mandala, so maybe we straight away recite the refuge and Bodhicitta prayers together. Sangye Chödang Soye Shona La Janju Badu Dani Jasunje Daji Jinso Yebe Sonamgi Dola Benjere Sangye Rubarai Sangye Chödang Soye Shona La Janju Badu Dani Jasunje Daji Jinso Yebe Sonamgi Dola Benjere Sangye Rubarai Sangye Chödang Soye Shona La Janju Badu Dani Jasunje Daji Jinso Yebe Sonamgi Dola Benjere Sangye Rubarai. Four immeasurable thoughts, so generate four immeasurable thoughts, and those of you who know how to recite the four immeasurable prayers, so please recite together. Semje damje dewa dang dewe yudang dembra yuje semje damje dunga dang dunga je yudang dawra yuje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dang mi dawra yuje semje damje nyire jana Nidan dawe danyo la nebra yuru je semje damje dewa dang dewe yudang dembra yuje semje damje dunga dang dunga je yudang dawra yuje Semje damje dunga mebe dewa dang mi dawra yuje semje damje nyire jana nidan dawe danyo la nebra yuru semje damje dewa dang dewe yudang dembra yuje semje damje dunga dang dunga je yudang dawra yuje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dang mi dawra yuje Semje damje nyere jada nidan dawe danyo la nebra yuru. Then make a salutation to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha and all the lineage gurus, starting from our immediate precious gurus, like such as Lama Tsongkhapa, his son is the Dalai Lama, and all the other spiritual gurus, all the way up to the Kadamba master, the later Kadamba master founding tradition, Lama Tsongkhapa, then all the way up to the earlier Kadamba teaching founding master, Geshe Tenzin, as well as Lama Atisha, then the lineage gurus of the profound teaching, such as starting from Atisha, then Shantideva, Nagarjuna, all the way up to Manjushri, then the lineage gurus of the extensive teaching, Again, Lama Atisha, then Lama Silingba, then Asanga, then all the way up to Buddha Maitreya. So feel absolute, vivid, lively present of all these lineage gurus, surrounded by all the 10 direction Buddha Bodhisattvas. Then expressing sincere devotion, the faith that established, on the basis of understanding of their enlightened qualities. Then absolute, irresistible conviction, absolute reliance on their teaching, their guidance, their example, for yourself to follow the spiritual path and actualize all the realizations up to full enlightenment, just like them. And feeling sense of blessed, to once this precious human rebirth, once this precious continuum, able to tie the spiritual knot with all these perfect, lineage gurus. Keeping that in heart, then we make salutation first to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, then after that make salutation to lineage gurus such as like His Holiness Dalai Lama. Kangi dozene zone dawadam je bambeje dambeje ne denje ba godam dela chance Tony Nije Zulu Jubelam Zeje Zejo Ganje Dendego Chana Pemo Denzen Jazola Soa Depso Da Yu Chinje. Okay, thank you. I just make sure I don't click the wrong button. I try to make the screen bigger. Okay, so yes, I don't know the language, the Swiss or German language to greet all of you. So hola, hello, tashidele, to all of you. And yes, absolutely joy to see quite many of your faces here, which very familiar from the past visit to Switzerland, at our Dharma centers. So yes, then thank you very much, Lars, isn't it? Thank you very much for your introduction, and also your beautiful mandala chanting. You've got a very beautiful voice. You can be great omze chamala. Yeah, and all the directors of the 3 centers, SPC, and board members, and all the students who aspire to have this Dharma gathering, at least at this stage, through online. I'm sure all of you, behind the scene must have put a lot of effort to put everything together. But at the same time, all of you have done that with absolute, heart of altruism, heart of great compassion, to offer Dharma service to all our brothers, sisters, senior and the newcomers, offering the best generosity, which is the Dharma. So each and every one of you play that role, even though I will be talking for these 3 sessions in the form of offering Dharma teaching. But all of us equally, accumulate the purpose of offering Dharma generosity to many, and that is, I think, very meaningful to be part of it. I think that is a whole purpose of, one of the main purpose of having Dharma Center, to offer generosity of Dharma. Senior and the new, as long as the center exists, is as a mandala for Dharma. So I would like to express sincere appreciation to each and every one of you. Then, of course, Felix, from long time, put so much effort in communications. Then the teaching is supposed to happen quite some time ago, but because of I had some responsibility came up, needed to travel to India, and so then the earlier schedule time is interrupted. So I hope that didn't cause any inconvenience to any of you. If so, then I would like to apologize for that. Yes. And thank you to each and every one of you. So my duty here is to make sure that your effort is not wasted. Spending, I think, about 2 hours, isn't it, this session, to making sure that your times are fruitful in spiritual benefits, meritorious benefits. So the best way to make that possible is through setting a correct motivation for the session. And the best motivation that we can cultivate is the Bodhicitta motivation, altruistic motivation. So that way, all the preliminary efforts for you to be here, as well as the presently, engaging in the deeds of listening the Dharma, then all the impact that you receive afterwards, everything going to be absolute cause of not only for the temporary benefit to yourself, your family members, and the rest of the sentient being, but you're going to benefit all the way up to the ultimate benefit of actualizing enlightenment for yourself and for rest of the numberless sentient beings' benefit. So therefore, setting correct motivation in the altruism, without any doubt will make sure your time, your effort going to be meaningful and fruitful. So for that reason, we take a few moments to sincerely express the altruistic motivation from depth of one's heart by simply expressing this thought in understanding that purpose of my life, purpose of attending this Dharma course is for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, the temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness of full enlightenment. And for that purpose, really to deliver effectively, that ultimate benefit to all sentient beings, that one should achieve state of full enlightenment. In order to do that, then one must engage in the correct path. And for that, one need to learn what are the correct paths. So for that reason, then I'm going to study the teachings on Lamrim, the teachings on gradual path to enlightenment, the texts that compose by Lama Tsongkhapa upon the request of Tsabu, upon the request of Tsabu Ngawang Thakpa. The text, what you call the concise yet extensive, complete teachings of the entire Buddha Dharma, entire teachings of the three capable beings path, the teaching, the text, the three principal aspects of the path. So that is the motivation. Thank you. Then also beneficial to acknowledge the meritorious fortune that one have. First of all, this precious human rebirth, where preciousness in the sense, beside the 8 freedoms and 10 endowments, highlighting the preciousness, why it's so precious, why it's so fortunate in the meritorious, in the understanding of meritorious benefit, is we are having this life where there is existence of existence of a living Buddha in the form of a human as a guru to us, such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the actual compassionate Buddha Chenrezig. Then that embodies in our immediate gurus, such as like Captain Lama Tsongkhapa and all other your gurus who are not appearing, who are not reciting in the absolute Dharmakaya, in Dharmakaya, rather that Dharmakaya manifest into the Nirmanakaya form as a reincarnation in human body. Very much the same way, the conventional aspect, very much the same way how we were born into this world. Because of that, it cut the barrier of someone, our guru is like someone being like alien. It cut the barrier of like we need to communicate with someone like alien. Somebody is so strange to us. It's because of their Bodhicitta and their wisdom of Dharmakaya. They have the ability to manifest, and accordingly with what we are capable to perceive, which is in ordinary, in ordinary human person. If our gurus, they manifest even a form body, but not as a Nirmanakaya, reincarnated body, like in a human form. Even they manifest as a Sambhogakaya, then only Arya Bodhisattvas are accessible to them. Even they may appear right in front of us, but we will not have the capability to directly hear their voice, hear their teaching, directly perceive the absolute relics of their whole body, where just by seeing, just by seeing and just by hearing the words of the Dharma, it purifies our impurities. Just by seeing, even just tips of our guru's nails, even just by seeing that, it has the capability to purify our mind, purify our negativities, and bless our continuum to able to develop the quality that guru possess, which is the altruistic qualities, that which every one of us aspire, admire, like quality of great compassion, qualities of unconditional love, qualities of selfless wisdom, all this and all the rest of the enlightened qualities. Each and every one of us, we aspire, isn't it? We really want to have them, isn't it? Can't resist even for a moment. Don't want to have that. Isn't it? So you see, and when we encounter, what you call those objects that which can really fulfill that aspiration to us, then how amazing that would be, isn't it? How amazing, isn't it? Like even in ordinary, in our ordinary sense, if you happen to find and have just one carat of diamond, I think that's very expensive, isn't it? In ordinary sense, wow, my life is settled. I don't need to work anymore. I don't need to earn any more money. Everything is settled, isn't it? So, so guru is far more precious than that ordinary, relics. That is a true spiritual relics, which is just by, if you read through the 8th chapter of the ornament of clear realization, then you will get to a broader understanding of how powerful the holy object, such as the holy bodies of our Guru, holy bodies of the Buddha, which is holy bodies of the Guru, which is the holy bodies of the Buddha. Then holy speech of the Buddha, that is the speech of the Guru. You see, so so that's why, as I'm saying, even just your naked eye able to see just tips of the nails of the Guru, or even just one single thread of the hair of the Guru, there's no question about seeing the whole limbs, whole flesh, Now here I'm just talking about the nails and the hair. How about you see the whole hand, and the whole body, and we are having the opportunity to see Guru, many days, not just, in the whole body, many days, and not just hearing just one tiny sound, but we hear hours and hours, days and years after years of teaching. Unbelievable. So these are what I meant, meritorious fortune that we have, and this is a highlight, of all the fortune that we have. You see, when you understand the Dharma well with the logic and reasoning, or you understand the Dharma well through meditation, by realizing the teaching, then the real meaning has to be the benefit from the future lifetime onward, comparing to this very one life. You see, our continuum never stops. Our continuum is everlasting. Then our continuum, not everlasting as a permanent phenomena, but everlasting in its nature of continuum, but it has the capabilities of evolving and developing. You see, evolving and developing, that's miraculous. It's like this. That's very precious. If it's just permanent, then it's what's a big deal? How long it lasts. But it has the capability of evolving and developing. Even how much negative karma we may have committed, how much wrong path that we must have followed for eons of lifetime in the past. That is past, and doesn't matter. That is already, that doesn't matter, and that is not important in the sense, in the understanding, what I'm saying, in the understanding that all those negativities, all those the wasted times can now, through the meeting of the precious Guru, through the learning of the precious Dharma, through realizing the precious Dharma, you can reshape your continuum. You can purify all of them. You see, you can purify all of them So therefore, there's nothing to kind of mourn or nothing to kind of, feel so bad and feel, how to say, accusing yourself, even though how long we have been in samsara, because as long as right now and now onward, if we choose the right path and and if we dedicate our time only in the perfect virtue, then the liberation, the enlightenment, everything is possible even in very next moment. If not, at least end of this life. Or if not, maybe in the Bardo state. If not, maybe at least next life. Even how lousy practitioner, they're very fortunate that we are surrounded now. 16 lifetime. There's a lot of statement. 16 lifetime. The worst practitioner also. The 16 lifetime we will be sitting together having the same type of coffee with our gurus, same type of coffee with all the Buddhas. No, same type of what do you call this, Swiss chocolate with all the Buddhas. There's one chocolate that you put in the mouth, it melts. It is like so soft and so just put like kind of bliss out. So you can enjoy the same chocolate with all the Buddhas together. It can be in the Switzerland, or it can be in other part of the world, wherever you wish to, instantly. So I think that's the matter. That's the real matter. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is that we have to acknowledge that we are in the best position, even though conventionally we hear, and we see, we know there's so much crisis happening in the world. So much crisis is happening, war, natural disasters, diseases, etc. But then, but in fact, we had much more worse than that in many beginningless lifetimes. We were many times in the hell realm. Can you imagine in hell realm much more worse than this southern wall? Many times we were in the predator realm. Many times we are in a very destitute animal realms. Not those very cute and comfortable pets. Those other ones, those who are like food chain. Those who are in a very difficult, destitute, animals. We are born many times, and the situation there is far more disturbing than what we go through in this world. So therefore, my point here is we cannot get distracted, and we cannot get discouraged because of what's happening in the world. We have to be even more energetic. We have to be even more motivated, isn't it? We have to be even more motivated. Even the hair is burning on fire. You won't give up to practice. Even the hair, burning on fire. Okay, here you extinguish the fire, but here you still practice like that. So yes. Then from other aspect, because of there's so much the trouble we see, in the world as a Dharma practitioner, then we take all of those as a condition to develop our heart. The suffering is the reason to develop compassion. Sufferings are the reason to develop the greater altruism. You see, great compassion, like that. And because of, you see, so much suffering, so much difficulty in the world, that's why you're able to, tease yourself to realize the wisdom of selfless. Like there's nothing to hold on to, because everything is really samsara. So nothing really to hold on to. It's in particularly to do with worldly kind of experiences, the graspings, attachment. You see, so when you see the difficulty of the world, then actually we can take that as a teaching for us to be more selfless. To make ourselves to guide our wisdom more into selfless way. The wisdom way, like that. So anyway, so the point here is, we have to acknowledge the fortune that we have. Okay, and try to put everything aside. Take see as a secondary. Even though right now, for some people, they may be going through some challenges, health challenges, economic challenges, relationship challenges, whatever they may be. From the viewpoint of actual meaning of the life, from the viewpoint of the Dharma wisdom and Dharma attitude, all those things become secondary. You see, and you come to know that you actually have the highest meaning already. You already have the highest meaning already. And when you compare the earlier mind and now, after this cultivation, your system is very much influenced by positivity, not influenced by the distractions of limitations. You see, so in immediate level, it really brings sense of calmness, peacefulness, hopefulness, sense of happiness. And this positive thoughts, on the basis of these positive thoughts, then when you learn the Dharma, when you meditate on the Dharma, it becomes so effective. So like that. So take a moment for us to contemplate on that. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so the topic for the teaching is the title with the three principal aspects of the path. So this text composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. So Lama Tsongkhapa, who came into existence about 600 years ago, and Lama Tsongkhapa is regarded as the crown jewel of all the scholars in Tibet. And Lama Tsongkhapa, when it comes to his practice, he have actualized the stages of the path and enlightenment, within that very short human lifetime. So he have achieved enlightenment within one very lifetime. Lama Tsongkhapa is one of the, the closest lineage guru to whom that we, very much relate from all aspects of our Dharma journey, spiritual journey. Especially who follow the Kadamba's tradition, the earlier Kadamba lineage from Lama Atisha to Domdemba, then later Kadamba tradition that from Lama Tsongkhapa, then the living like Kadamba master like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Jabja Lama Subramche, and all your gurus. All these masters they have actualized, enlightenment within one very human lifetime through the teaching that they illustrate in their compositions, which we are, very familiar and very much connected to, especially in those who study many of the teachings from the Gelug tradition, like such as Lamrim, great Lamrim Chemo, the great gradual path of enlightenment. Then middling Lamrim, small Lamrim, those are the very central texts and the teachings that we study, especially in the APMD centers. Those are the main in learning teaching. You see, so through there we are very much connected to Lama Tsongkhapa. We were very much benefited, and received full of blessings by Lama Tsongkhapa. Because of learning Lamrim, all of us, able to utilize the meaning of our life. And many of you are, really senior in the practice, have accomplished the study of the entire Lamrim, many rounds, and engage in many Ngondo retreats. All are exemplified by Lama Tsongkhapa. So like that. So therefore, the teaching that Lama Tsongkhapa taught, is unmistaken path. Especially, these three principal aspects of the path. The principal aspect of the path of the 84,000 teachings of the Buddha, the three principal aspects of the path of the nearer the channeling of the lineage, the profound and extensive lineage that drive from Buddha Maitreya and Buddha Manjushri, such as Nagarjuna, such as Asanga. So this teaching is the essence, or the principle or the essence of, those profound Dharma and extensive Dharma. The three principal aspects of the path, the teaching, is the essence of the great Lamrim, the principal teachings of the great Lamrim, the principal teachings of the all stages of the Lamrim. You see, so when you study, when you practice this teaching, you are practicing Lamrim, you are practicing profound Dharma, you are practicing extensive Dharma, you are practicing the Dharma, the Dharma illustrated from 84,000 teachings, like that. Then some more discomposition, Lama Tsongkhapa composed later part of his life, it is later part of his composition. Lama Tsongkhapa composed many great, treatises, altogether, 18 great treatises. So then, this three principal aspects of path, within that is the later part of the composition. You see, and this teaching was requested by Tsabu Ngawang Tauba. The disciple who accompanied Lama Tsongkhapa from the very earlier stage, even while Lama Tsongkhapa was studying, Tsabu Ngawang Tauba was already relating to Lama Tsongkhapa and taking Lama Tsongkhapa as his object of veneration, object of inspiration, and as a teacher. So Tsabu Ngawang Tauba have received and witnessed very much the entire life of Lama Tsongkhapa and journey, and later, very much later part of Lama Tsongkhapa's life, and Tsabu Ngawang Tauba realized that Lama Tsongkhapa have taught, numerous teachings, extensive, profound, elaborate, and he still, Tsabu Ngawang Tauba still felt that there should be one teaching that is very, very short in writing, concise, but complete, profound, but yet anybody, anyone in any way of life, they will have the capability to apprehend and practice the entire path in very short time. Even if the teacher needed to transmit or teach the entire path through this particular text, it won't take many days to teach. It just even within one session can able to transmit the whole text and able to commentary to the whole text to those who don't have time to study extensive philosophy or even the great Lamrim. Is busy, like many of us here, very much busy with family responsibility, job. So really to really to meditate the whole Lamrim and some more, the very targeted essence of the entire path is not easy. And also, someone want to learn. It's not easy to dedicate 20 over years of learning, or even if you learn Lamrim Chemo, maybe it may take 3 or 4 over years, if you really learn detail. You see, so Tsabu Ngawang Tauba felt it is so necessary to have one teaching that that can easily be adopted by all levels of people or practitioner, and they can actualize the full meaning of the Dharma. You see, and based on that request, then Lama Tsongkhapa express or write, this teaching is very much kind of really to fulfill, very beloved and long accompanied, the heart, one of the heart disciple, Tsabu Ngawang Tauba. So at the end of the text, express as my son, son is a voice of expressing so close to the heart. You see, so when we hear this teaching, when we listen to this teaching, we have to, you see, right today here, I'm like a sound box, the sound box, not the actual voice, the sound box, but so when you hear, you should visualize, you should understand, you're hearing directly, from Lama Tsongkhapa, how when Lama Tsongkhapa speak to his beloved spiritual son, Sabungao Thapa. So at the end, it's the son is referring to you too, not only Sabungao Thapa, also to you, son and daughter. You are referring, Lama Tsongkhapa is referring to you. So you have to listen like that. Then you really feel the better taste. So like that. So then, if you want to, give a extensive commentary of this text, then the Lamrim Chemo is the extensive commentary. The Great Lamrim is the extensive commentary, or the Middle Length Lamrim. All these are commentary for this. You can teach like that, but here, I think try to make as simple as possible. Try not to complicate, because really, there may be some people that who really don't want too many complications. Those too much of philosophical kind of infusion, this and that. So therefore, even when you read, it's very straightforward to understand. And when you take this text as a guideline for your meditation, or your guide to your way of life, it's very much follow the verse by verse. It's a straightforward meaning, and you translate to your lifestyle, and so that all these three or the entire teaching can able to utilize by individual in whatever way of life that you have. So like that. Okay. Lamzon Namsum. So first one is okay. So anyway, so there's a 3 class. So I'm thinking to do. So today we stick on the first principal aspect of the path, renunciation. Then the second class, we stick on the second principal aspect of the path, which is Bodhicitta. Then the third one is the third principal aspect of the path, emptiness, the wisdom. So I think 3 sessions hopefully will be just okay. So the text is, first one is, I bow down to my perfect gurus. So this is expressing or paying homage. So the Lama Tsongkhapa, so paying homage, to there are few ways to pay homage. Paying homage to gurus, paying homage to Buddha, paying homage to Bodhisattvas, paying homage to deities, like that. And there are also certain special texts like paying homage to compassion, etc., like this. So there are few reasons. One of the reasons of paying homage by the composer is to clear obstacle, towards the task of composing the text. The reason is to receive the blessing, receive the blessing, from their meditation and deity, from the Buddhas. But for this text, receiving blessings from his lineage gurus, in particularly, so you're receiving from his lineage gurus. So first of all, the one of the reason is to receive blessings. Then another reason is to also very much validate the authenticity of the teaching, is showing the teaching has valid, transmissions from unbroken lineage. So there are a few reasons, and this is the traditions of the Nalanda masters, the Indian masters. So the later in Tibet, the Tibetan scholars also, when they compose any Dharma text, they follow that tradition of paying homage at the beginning. So I bow down. So of course, bow with the body, speech, and mind, reflecting on the qualities of the object of veneration. Bow down to my perfect gurus. Perfect here, the guru who carry all the spiritual qualifications, as described in Lamrim. Vinaya, those who provide vows, there are minimum, basic 10, qualities of the Vinaya Guru who give you the vows, in particularly individual liberation, Sangha vows. Then there are 10 Mahayanic, gurus' qualities who provide transmissions of Mahayanic teachings, commentaries, then like such as refuge and lay vows and Buddhism vows, So they are very much similar, all these 10 qualities, but there are slight, differences. One of the main differences is knowing, they specialize into those particular transmission that they are responsible for. Then for the tantric gurus, also there's about 10 basic qualities described, especially all these qualities, very much that you can learn from the works of the Maitreya. But of course, if you study Lamrim, then very clearly stated there. But in short here today, no need to go through all those details. Minimum, someone to be perfect guru, minimum qualification that they should possess is someone who is morally disciplined, and someone who is compassionate, and someone who carry unmistaken knowledge of the teachings that that they're supposed to guide the disciple. The minimum like that. So also in the Maitreya's work, Maitreya, when described this 10 Mahayanic gurus' quality, best to have a 10, if not at least 5, if not at least 3, So if the teacher is not morally disciplined, the teacher can't bring any benefit to the development of the disciple. You see, when it comes to the transmitting the spiritual knowledge to the spiritual student, is not like transmitting knowledge in our academic schools. In academic school, as long as you carry the knowledge, as long as the student able to apprehend the knowledge, is good enough. But for spiritual, in the spiritual practice, the ultimate benefit the student have to receive is a blessing, the transmissional blessing. The conventional knowledge, the scriptural knowledge is, just very beginning, the step. It's just one layer only, That's just one layer only, So on top of that, you need to receive
the transmission of blessing in their continuum, so that the disciple can able to have the seed of the Dharma to develop into realization within them, within the disciple themselves, you see. So for that, without the foundation or the basis of the moral conduct, moral ethic, the teacher won't able to pass down the transmission, because all the higher knowledge has to be built on the morality, like from the three higher training, which is the part that we need to develop. The higher training of wisdom, of emptiness, higher training of concentration, like shamatha, then higher training of the morality, the perfection in all the different type of morality. So first of all, the teacher has to be ethical, in a conventional norm. Then on top of that, the more the moral precept that they carry, the greater the benefit the student to be received. So therefore, the teacher, the more the vows that the teacher observe, more and some more the pure vow, and more the vow that preserve purely, the student receive the greater benefit in their spiritual practice. You see, so because of that, so because of that, the teacher has to have the moral conduct. You see, the highest the moral precept practice in individual liberation vows is the fully ordination vows. Then below that is the novice. Then below that is the preordination. Then lay vows. Then refuge vows. Then on top of that, there are precepts of Bodhisattva vows. Then tantric vows. If the teacher is someone holding all the three different levels of vows, like individual liberation vows, Bodhisattva vows, tantric vows, and some more, the vows are keeping for as long as possible, as long, and some more, the vows are preserved, before they have the capability to break. Like as a person, best is you preserve the vow before puberty, before puberty. Best is like around 7 years old. You start, around 7 years. If not before, but minimum around 7 years old, you start to observe, like individual liberation vow, like start with the refuge, lay vows, then ordination vows, etc., like that. You see. So anyway, it's good to know so that you can aspire. In one way we have a lot of time. In another way, we don't have much time in life. In one way, we have plenty of time to take as much vows as you wish. In another way, life can go in the blinks of eye, in the snap moment, So hopefully we have a long life. Then, can take more and more precepts. Even many of you who have family responsibilities. So if it's not able to take individual liberation Sangha vow, but at least you can take Bodhisattva vows, refuge for sure, 5 lay vows for sure, Bodhisattva vows and tantric vows, amazing, unbelievable, you see, benefits. Then of course, then we should aspire from future lifetime onwards, never to miss having all these 3 vows, from future lifetime, So we have to make an aspiration, commit the causes to be born in the right place, right environment, and also, you know, born with having the inspiration to take the precepts, isn't it? Etc. etc. So anyway, I'm talking about perfect guru, perfect gurus. Yeah. So yes. Then the second one is, you know, compassion. If the teacher, the guru, don't have compassion towards the student, can't offer benefit in the spiritual sense. Okay, in the spiritual sense, even in ordinary, when the teacher don't have compassion to a student, you know, how to say, somewhere, somehow there will be limitation, isn't it? So more the compassion you have towards the student, able to benefit more. So when it comes to spiritual practice, then no question, compassion is the key quality that needed to have by the guru, by the teacher. So whatever teaching that you, whatever way that you relate to your disciple, you know, never to making sure that the disciple never to suffer, you know, and the whole purpose of being a teacher is to liberate the disciple from suffering and the causes of the suffering, the delusion and karma, you know. So the teacher has to be inspiration. What means by liberation? The teacher has to be as an inspiration to the disciple. What means by you know, the essence of Dharma, compassion, isn't it? So if teacher has no compassion, how to illustrate that? So that's extremely important. Then the wisdom, you know, if realize emptiness, best. If not, at least having a correct understanding of emptiness. You see, otherwise, you know, you can't liberate the disciple. In order to liberate the disciple, you need to teach the correct Dharma. That's the only way. You know, Buddha also said, I cannot transfer my realization to the disciple. You know, I cannot purify disciples' negativities. You see, the only way I can benefit you, and I can benefit you ultimately, but the only way is giving you the correct teaching, the correct Dharma. So when we talk about Dharma here, referring to the wisdom of emptiness, because that is the antidote to the defilement. Even Bodhicitta is so important, but the Dharma referring to the antidote to all the negation, that which is the wisdom of emptiness. So we have to teach the teachings of emptiness to the disciple. You see, so then because of having the wisdom of emptiness and living in the practice, then the teacher, you know, naturally have the quality of being less selfish. You know, the more you practice emptiness, the more selfless you become. You know, more grasping, you know, towards attachment. You know, towards, you know, all the delusional clingings will start to release. You see, start to bring limitation on that. You see. So anyway, these three are the what is the meaning of perfect. So I'm talking about that. So gurus here in this text, Lama Tsongkhapa referring to, Lama Tsongkhapa has, you know, over 500 gurus. You know, is saying that around 500 over gurus, you know, many gurus, like Lama Atisha, you know, we usually understand that have about 500, you know, 7 over gurus like that. Lama Tsongkhapa also has so many gurus, but among them here, the gurus is referring to the 3 main teacher. The first one is the Manjushri, you know, from whom that he was guided to remain in Tibet and continue to study and practice, meditate, and through the guidance of Manjushri, Lama Tsongkhapa able to realize unmistaken understanding on the emptiness view, and according with the Nagarjuna's and Chandrakirti's presentation. Initially, Lama Tsongkhapa one stage he struggled, he struggled to really to, absolute understanding of Chandrakirti and Nagarjuna's view presentation on emptiness, and he aspired to travel to India. He felt in Tibet he won't able to get the absolute teaching on that. So he started to think to travel to India. Then Manjushri guide him that you don't have to travel to India. You rather go to, your study is done. So now you better go to accumulate merit by engaging in Mondo practices, preliminary practices. So that's how Lama Tsongkhapa traveled to Wogacholing, where he started to perform prostration practice, water bowl offering practice, and mainly, practice of mandala offering practices. You see, then there he actualized the direct realization on emptiness. You see, so so because of that, the one of the main teacher is Manjushri. Then the second one is Hoda Tupchen Legi Dorje. Hoda Tupchen Legi Dorje. Then the third one is Kenchen Chögyong Sangbo. So two of these masters, from where Lama Tsongkhapa received all the three lineages of the Kadamba master's practice. The lineage of philosophy, the lineage of Lamrim, and lineage of instruction. All these three different ways of apprehending the Dharma he have received from these two major teachers. So here, when he make homage to the perfect gurus, so these three gurus are mainly these three gurus. It's mentioning about these three gurus. Oh. Okay, then after that, it says like the essential meaning of the victorious one's teaching, the path praised by all the holy victors and their children, the gateway of the fortunate ones desiring liberation. This I shall try to explain as much as I can. So Lama Tsongkhapa, the way he expressed in the first verse, very with so much humility, very humbleness. So this is one of the attitude that which Buddhist masters, the true Buddhist masters, would practice. Even they're enlightened, they will never claim that I'm enlightened. Even they're great scholar, they will not claim that I'm great scholar. And most of the time they will say, no, I don't know anything. But then when you give them a task, the teaching will come out like a flood, water flood. They're perfect in everything, but so humble. So that's one of very important practice. It's like direct antidote to the ego's grasping. Yeah. So anyway, so this verse is very much composition of promise to compose. So again, the style of the Indian great pandits and the great Tibetan masters, at the beginning of the text, when they put a promising statement for the composition. Once they promise, then they will never give up. They will make sure they will deliver it. Okay, so now this teaching is also this verse also can regard as a prefect of the rest of the teaching, or the prefect of this text. So there are a few ways to interpret. Okay, first of all, I will just go through the word meaning. Then after that, then the meaning from the verses. So the first line is the essential meaning of the victorious one's teaching. The essential meaning. The the essential meaning of the victorious ones. The victorious ones referring to Buddhas. The essential meaning of the Buddha's teaching is path, the path to liberation. And what is that path? That path is renunciation. Renunciation. So what defines a path? What will make your practice qualified to be a path to liberation or path to enlightenment by the characteristic of having the element of renunciation. In Tibetan, ngejungi samba choma mayimbe simpe kemba is a lam, sadhana lam is the definition. So the essential meaning of the victorious one teaching is referring to the first principal aspect of the path, renunciation. Okay. Now, the second line, the path praised by all the holy victors and their children. Holy victors, of course, Buddhas, their children, referring to Bodhisattvas. And what is that path that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas praise? Bodhicitta. The second principal aspect of the path, Bodhicitta. Then the third line, the gateway of the fortunate ones desiring liberation. Whoever desired liberation from samsara, okay, liberation from all the faults, like us, who is desiring liberation, isn't it? So the gateway of the fortunate ones desiring liberation, the fortunate one is all the practitioners of the Dharma are the fortunate one. All the Arya Bodhisattvas are fortunate one who are practicing on the path. All the ordinary Bodhisattvas are fortunate one, they are already practicing on the path. Many of you are already maybe enter into the already path, already have a renunciation. Or maybe some of you not actually enter into the path, but enter into the path with your genuine, irresistible renunciation, aspirationally enter into the path, and you are working very hard to study Dharma, practice, meditate, etc., etc. So all of us fall in the category of fortunate one. all of us, we are the fortunate one who desire liberation. And the gateway of the fortunate one. Now, what is the gateway? The third one, emptiness. Okay? The emptiness is the gateway to liberation. You see? So, as I mentioned before, when talking about the qualities of the Guru, the wisdom of emptiness. You see, broadly, if you pronounce Buddha Dharma, what is Buddha Dharma? The answer has to be emptiness. You see, what is Buddha Dharma? Say emptiness. If you say, what is Buddha Dharma? Bodhicitta, okay, but not 100% answer. What is Buddha Dharma? Renunciation, okay, but not 100% answer. What is Buddha Dharma? Oh, Guru devotion, okay, but not 100%. You see? When we say, what is exactly the Buddha Dharma talking about? Is emptiness, 100%, 100 over 100 marks, 100%. Right? So, what is Dharma? You say, oh, it's a renunciation, Guru devotion, love, compassion, etc., etc. Okay, 99%, not 100%. But what is Dharma? It's emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness is the Dharma. You say emptiness is the Dharma. Then 100%. You say, therefore, Buddha have stated that all the rest of the other 84,000 teachings are mean to lead the disciple to understand the wisdom of emptiness. All the practices of the 84,000 teachings of the Dharma or the teaching is to practice to realize emptiness. You see, so certain practices become preliminary. Certain practices, play as a close conditions to develop a wisdom of emptiness. So anyway, if you have bodhicitta but no emptiness, if you don't realize wisdom of emptiness, can you liberate from samsara? The answer would be no. If you have bodhicitta, even you enter into the Bodhisattva's path, but can you actualize complete freedom from delusion and actualize liberation? No. Okay. Even you reach Arya Bodhisattva's path. Of course, when you reach Arya Bodhisattva's path, you definitely will realize emptiness. Definitely. When you reach Arya Bodhisattva's path, definitely will realize emptiness directly. But if you realize but you don't practice it, you neglect it, you only focus on bodhicitta, will you actualize liberation? No. Will you actualize enlightenment? No. You see? So therefore, how powerful, how great practice of bodhicitta that you may have, you still need to have the element of wisdom of emptiness in order to actualize liberation, whether it's liberation of hearer, liberation of solitary from the path of Hinayana, or liberations of the Mahayana, which is called the enlightenment. You see, so therefore, the gateway of the fortunate one desiring liberation. So liberation, okay, generally 3 types of liberation, isn't it? 3 types of liberation: liberation of hearer, liberation of solitary, liberation of the Bodhisattva. So whichever path you follow, if you are really desiring for any of the liberation, and the gateway is wisdom of emptiness, you need to realize wisdom of emptiness. So now this third line is talking about the third principle aspect of the path. So these 3 teaching, Lama Tsongkhapa say, I shall try to explain as much as I can. So Lama Tsongkhapa said like that. So this is the prefect. You can say as a prefect, okay? Now another way of interpretation, the essential meaning of the victorious one's teaching, you can refer to whole 3 principal aspects of the path: renunciation, bodhicitta, emptiness. The essential meaning can refer to the whole 3 principal aspects of the path. The path praised by all the holy victorious and their children, the path can refer to all the 3 principal aspects of the path. The gateway of the fortunate one desiring liberation, the gateway also you can understand all the 3 principal aspects of the path. Okay, so both are correct. So now, those who are, the second verse, those who are not attached to the pleasure of cyclic existence, who strive to make freedom and endowments meaningful, who entrust themselves to the path pleasing the victorious one, you fortunate one, listen with a calm mind. So this is guiding us, how to listen to the Dharma. So again, when we refer to the Lamrim, that we need to be free from the three type of vessel. Vessel that which is upside down, vessel which is polluted, vessel that which has a hollow. So yeah, I think I am the combination of all the 3. Vessel with a hollow, vessel with the contamination, then what? Yeah, vessel upside down also. So any of you better don't be in that category. That can trouble you. That's very yes. So it's good to have all the good to have everything, all the 3 qualities free from all these three wrong qualities. Yes. So anyway, those who are not attached. The first one is those who are not attached to the pleasure of cyclic existence. So if you really want to, actualize the benefit of the Dharma, the liberation, if you really want to actualize the benefit of learning 3 principal aspects of the path, And then at least that your heart has to be free from attachment to the pleasure of self-existence. So meaning that I want to learn these three principles of path so that I can be happier, just happier in this life. I can be richer in this life. So that I have a tools of this called emptiness, this called Bodhicitta, this called renunciation, whatever it is, I will choose one of them. Maybe the emptiness is the best one. Then whenever trouble comes, I will troubleshoot by emptiness. Troubleshoot, too good. So whenever trouble comes, I will say emptiness, pool. It's emptiness, I don't bother about trouble because it's emptiness. There are some individual, they totally misunderstood of emptiness. Of emptiness is the nothingness, So then they really apply in their life. So when trouble comes, they say no trouble, no me, no me. No me, no. How can trouble come to me? There's no me. Or trouble, you also know you don't exist, you don't come. I mean, it helps at the beginning, but later, show the true color. So it doesn't really work that effectively. So anyway, so we cannot be in that category. So if I understand three principles of path, then I will have some immediate troubleshooters, pew, pew, pew. So anyway, so meaning we need to know the exact purpose of learning Dharma, practicing Dharma, learning this teaching, So not just this teaching, but any Dharma teaching. If you are serious about it, then you need to know the purpose. The purpose is for liberation. I practice, I learn, I contemplate on this teaching, I read this text, I study this text for liberation from entire karma, delusion, samsara. You see, even by practicing the Dharma, well, I'm learning that, before I don't have headache, but after learning the teaching is a bit tough, I got headache also, I won't give up. Because that's not my purpose to clear. I don't practice the Dharma, study Dharma to clear my headache. Then to listen, blah, 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 sometimes, like 2 hours, there's no entertainment, 2 hours, no tea, in the Tibetan monastery, when we do puja, there's two types of puja. One is called kamso, one is called lenso. Kamso means dry puja, lenso means wet puja. So dry puja means no tea. So the wet puja got tea. I said, today I just come, so I don't want to go. No tea to drink. So anyway, yes. So now I forgot what I'm saying. Yes. Okay, so what I'm talking about, I'm too attached to the learn so I cannot be liberated. Yes. So yes, So you see, so it's studying Dharma. It's not the easy one, Studying Dharma. Especially if you start to study philosophy, or this headache, it's terrible headache, migraine, not easy one. Then even to study Lamrim, so many steps, so many countings, so many qualifications, so many characteristics, not so easy, Then more than that, contemplating on Dharma, even harder. You see, it's really, really, you see, so much gray hair, each gray hair is through contemplation on Dharma. So much wrinkle, each one come from a contemplation on Dharma. Contemplate, go back pain, So I also try to contemplate, I say, how should I teach, So until I back pain, yeah. But then when I started teaching, it never go the way I prepared. It just go everywhere, totally opposite what I prepared. So I said, don't prepare, just go. So anyway, so yes, so not easy. And you meditate, meditate. So during meditation, since you're intense in meditation, you may not realize. But after when you end the meditation, then your buttock will have big bumps, the extra bumps due to long meditation. Got wounds. Many meditators, their buttock, like Milarepa to Gamboba, his last transmission, Gamboba was receiving almost entire transmissions from Milarepa. So then he was supposed to go for retreat. So there's a kind of there's kind of hints that Milarepa still have something to teach to me, but Milarepa is not really being clear about what you want to teach to me, So he was like he needed to go, but yet he's waiting, I said, before I go for long retreat, I must receive entire transmission. So then after that, Milarepa is not speaking to him. So he walked. Then after he reached some further away, then Milarepa called him back. So he was so happy. Now I'm going to receive the final teaching. Then Milarepa showed his bum. He take all his skirt up and show his bum. So he said, this is the last transmission. So the meaning is that you have learned everything. You see, now you go to retreat. You have to stay put until you realize the realization. Even your whole buttock gone worn out. So like that. So you see, so not easy. I think I heard in Switzerland, some of you have done some preliminary retreats like waterfall offering. Even though I'm in Switzerland, beautiful river, beautiful waterfalls, but then the moment you start to do the waterfall, I don't think not as fun as you thought, isn't it? Not as easy as you thought, isn't it? So anyway, yeah, like that. So yes. So therefore, yes. So therefore, yes, the motivation is that whatever limitation comes, in this very lifetime's concern, while I am practicing Dharma, I will never give up, the continuation of the practice, continuation of the learning of the Dharma and practice. So need to have the future lifetimes purpose, the purpose of liberation. So that's what he meant. Then the second line, who strive to make freedom and endowment meaningful. Then the listener of the Dharma in generally, and of course here for this teaching, who truly genuinely understand the precious human value of precious human rebirth, as I mentioned before at the beginning. While there's a Buddha Dharma, it still exists. While there's a guru, the qualified gurus, who transmit teachings to you, and you have this faith, conviction, interest, and no one is actually objecting you, in your environment. See, in this free world, if you really, then how busy you are, also you still can able to find at least few hours daily. You see, so therefore understanding that, and then and the benefit of the Dharma practice, which really not only benefit in future lifetimes, but it's also benefit immediate level right now. You see, so that is the really essence of the precious human life. So someone who value precious human life, then who entrust themselves to the path pleasing the victorious one, and someone who really relies on the Buddha's teaching, their way of life, their way of thinking, way of talking, way of physical gesture. Really, you follow what the teaching taught us. You see, at the very beginning teaching, which is to talk about the Guru devotion practice, according with the Lamrim, as I mentioned before, minimum 3 qualities of the Guru. So that itself is a teaching. You aspire to get the qualities of such like the teacher, then yourself also need to, start practicing those, isn't it? So have a moral discipline of body, speech, and mind. Then train in concentration to get more and more get control over your mind, make our mind more serviceable in virtue. Then develop more and more wisdom of selfless and emptiness. You see, so these are the teaching that Buddha have taught, and we entrust that, and we try to follow that. And we take those as a main guide. Then our own ordinary way, our own ordinary mind guides us. The delusion guide us. Not that way, like that. So you fortunate one, listen with a calm mind. So when you listen to the Dharma, you need to have a sense of peacefulness. Peacefulness in the sense, you see, your heart is like filled with hopefulness, aspirations, faith. So that naturally, calm your mind, and get away from our usual distractions of, day-to-day ups and downs. So you see, so the way to listen to Dharma is something like that. Okay, so now the third verse is, without the complete intention definitely to be free from self-existence, there's no way to pacify attachment seeking pleasurable effect in the oceans of self-existence. Also, by craving for self-existence, embodied beings are continuously bound. Therefore, at the very beginning, seek renunciation. So, at the very beginning, to learning the Dharma, practicing the Dharma, the first thing is to learn about what really the renunciation is. Then practice it and actualize it. So without the knowledge of renunciation, or without certain habitual impact of renunciation, there won't be genuine development of the latter path, like Bodhicitta and emptiness. So this is what the meaning. So he says, without the complete intention, definitely to be free from self-existence. So first of all, that you need to have this motivation that I must definitely be free from self-existence, samsara. So samsara means the contaminated aggregates. The contaminated means contaminated, polluted by karma and delusion. So any aggregates that is produced by the karma and delusion are samsara. Every existence is a result of karma and delusion, are called samsara, are also called self-existent. So our physical aggregate that we carry now is product of karma and delusion, therefore it's samsara. Our continuum that we have now, the mental factor that we have now, the attitudes that we have now, this is also samsara, because it is very much expressions of delusion and impact of past karma. You see, even the environment, the house, the foods, the elements, the four elements, including space, everything is a result of our past karma and delusion. Therefore, it's a samsara. You see, so it is samsara means also suffering. Suffering means you see either of the three kind of suffering: the suffering of pain, suffering of change, and the pervasive suffering. You see, so so the earlier two sufferings are the very gross. The main characteristic of the samsara or the suffering is referring to the pervasive compounded suffering. The pervasive compounded suffering is simply meaning the phenomena that is production of karma and delusion, or pervasive compounded suffering, meaning the contamination itself, the contamination of karma and delusion itself. That has, that contamination has in the environment, including of the elements. You see, even though they don't have feelings, but they are production of this contamination. So therefore, it's samsara. So it's talking about that. So we need to have a very clear mind, clear motivation that I needed to be free from the contaminated aggregates, as well as it is causes the karma and delusion. Then the second line: there is no way to pacify attachment, seeking pleasure, effect in the ocean of self-existence. So we have this conceptual clinging, such as attachment, such as aversion to the disliking thing, attachment to the pleasurable thing, then neutral ignorance to the the rest of the experiences and the rest of the things. We will not be able to overcome that. We won't able to overcome the samsara or self-existence if we don't overcome these three kind of clingings. You see, so when we are training first time in the path, at least we need to have the understanding of overcoming these three kind of delusions. Then practicing or learning the Dharma as an antidote to completely eradicate this three kind of delusions. So there's no way to pacify attachment, seeking pleasure, effect in the ocean of self-existence. So in another way is that if you have a clinging or attachment to the worldly concerns, like such as 8 worldly concerns, or samsaric sensual pleasure, then no way one will able to overcome the attachment grasping to samsara. So it can be understood like that. Then also by craving for self-existence, embodied being are continuously bound. So if we continue to have a craving or attachment towards self-existence, then not only in the present time that we caught up with the samsara, but that will bound our continuum in suffering, in samsaric existence. You see. So therefore, at the very beginning, seek renunciation. So the purpose of seeking renunciation is for us to be free from the present suffering, which is the contaminated aggregates, the samsara, as well as for us to gain protection from having the basis of future suffering. And so that is the main reason why we need to actualize renunciation. So renunciation towards samsara, karma, and delusion. So now the following verse is how to generate renunciation. Freedom from the endowments are difficult to find. Freedom and the endowments are difficult to find, and life has no time to spare. By gaining familiarity with this, attraction to the appearance of this life is reverse. Then following, by thinking over and over again that action and their effects are unbetraying and repeatedly contemplating the misery of self-existence, attraction to the appearance of future life is reverted. So the first verse is to overcome the attachment, grasping towards this present life's purposes. The second verse is to overcome attachment to the future life's worldly concerns. Right? The freedom and endowments are difficult to find. So, way to do that is for us to contemplate, first of all, how difficult to obtain this precious human rebirth. It requires a right course to actualize the precious human rebirth. Just being human is not good enough. You need to have precious human rebirth so that we can able to practice Dharma, so that we will have opportunity to overcome samsara. And this type of life that we have is not easy. We need to have the causes of practice, pure morality, and practice of generosity, and having a correct aspiration. So these are the three main causes to actualize, another round of precious human rebirth. So in our past life, we had these three causes. In this life, we have actualized it. And when we look into our present life's way of living, very difficult to observe pure morality, and very difficult to practice, generosity. Then our mind is so distracted, it's very rare to have this aspiration to actualize precious human rebirth again, you see. So therefore, so through this reasoning, so we have to understand that now I have precious human rebirth. If I don't take the essence of it now, in future time, I may not have this opportunity again, and life has no time to spare. And not only that, how precious it may be, how intact, our life that we have now, but it carries the nature, the certainty of death. Time of death is uncertain, you see. So because of that, if we don't practice right now, if we don't learn the Dharma right now and practice and actualize the path, then if we put aside, and if we delay, and if we aspire to practice next year or next week or next day or some years later, then that delaying time may not come to actualize. Before such time arrives, our life may be already departed. So therefore, we have to, actualize the understanding of that. While having this precious rebirth, I must practice right now. So it's very much to understand the death and impermanent. So in Lamrim elaborately, teach about death and teaching on death and impermanent, precious human rebirth. So these are the teachings to be cultivated in order to gain genuine renunciation. By gaining familiarity with this, by gaining familiarity with what mentioned before, attraction to the appearance of this life is reverted, and attachment to this life, such as worldly concern, striving for competitive world with the fame, gains, name, status, etc., etc. So all those, the ambition, the attachment will be lost. So like that. So again here, one clarification. Some individual may think then I may not have a hard to work, hard to serve family, hard to do the normal responsibilities in the family. I may run away, from family responsibilities. Some people may think like that. If you start to be so serious about the practice in renunciation. So the answer to that is no. In fact, you become even more responsible to the family, even more responsible to your ordinary life. More responsible in the sense that now you will start to, take all your ordinary responsibilities onto the path to liberation. You see, your time of serving your family, your job, all the ordinary things that you do, now everything will be motivated by a heart of renunciation, motivated by a heart of, actualizing liberation. You see, everything you use as a reason to develop compassion, reason to develop, a reason to engage in the practice of, virtues, like six perfections, such as generosity, etc. You see, so when someone, genuinely start to understand Dharma and start to practice, and whatever earlier responsibility that you may have, everything become even more dedicated, and become pure job, become virtuous responsibility. You see, so if there's any kind of unhelpful, unbeneficial, non-virtuous kind of jobs that you may be doing, life that you may be spending time, then through the practice of renunciation, the cultivation of all the earlier mentioned teaching, all those will be averted. You see, because of averting all those non-virtuous lifestyle, it immediately benefits you, to have a safer life, more productive life, more meaningful life, more satisfying life, isn't it? So there's only benefits, you see. Some people do misunderstand. After practicing Dharma, then it's like you have to become monk or nun. If you have the conducive condition, then do so. If not necessary, you see. You can aspire for future life, or you can, or maybe later part of your life when you have all the conducive conditions, you see. Or if you have not engaged yet, then you can think about it. But you already engaged, you already have children, then now you are struggling, I should become monk or nun, then that's not necessary to think like that, you see. So, yeah, so like that. So when people don't understand Dharma properly, then they say, oh, the more I learn Dharma, the more lazy I become in my responsibilities, the more Dharma I learn, the more further I go away from my children, the further I go away from my partner, or taking care of my parents, etc. That's not true. Those are misunderstanding. If you misunderstood the Dharma, then you will behave like that. You will run away from realities, So, so like that. Okay, then, okay, now the summary is, in order to actualize detachment to the present worldly life concern, the main cultivation is cultivate in the understanding of precious human rebirth and death and impermanent. These two things, you see, meditate, understand on death and impermanent and precious human rebirth. So now the second verse, by thinking over and over again that action and their effects are unbetraying. So this is about contemplating on understanding of karma, teachings on karma. Again, in Lamrim is elaborate teaching on karma, can refer to that. So in short, you see, cause and effect it is definite, and it is the actual reality. It is absolute reality. It's a cause and effect. You see, everything is a result of cause and effect. You see, good or bad is all has it is right cause, it is right conditions. You see, then see, karma is definite in the sense that once you commit the cause, then you see, it is definite. There is a result. The only characteristic is, you see, once you commit the cause, if you apply a correct antidote, you can overcome the result by purifying the karma. You see, if you accumulate the karma, which is virtuous karma, if you wish to actually make it, definitely fruitful result, then you condition with the virtuous condition to make it definite fruitful of the karma, like that. Then virtuous karma only actualize beneficial and beneficial result. Negative karma only produce harmful results. You see, virtuous karma never produce harmful results. Negative karma never produce helpful results. You see, like that. And the karma can be experienced in immediate level, the very next moment from the first moment of committing of the cause. Karma can be interrupted to experience the result by so many other karmas, other factors that karma can experience many countless eons later, like that. So in short, if we commit, negative karma like the 10 non-virtues, then the most intense one to experience, the consequences in the hell realm, the medium one in the hungry ghost realm, then the lighter one, animal realm, then the virtuous karma, God realm, demigod realm, human realm, like that. So even it may be virtuous karma, but if it is not a dharma, virtue, the perfect virtue or the dharma virtue, just being virtue is not good enough to actualize liberation. So therefore, just committing virtue is not good enough. The virtue has to be, in order the virtues to be dharma, virtues to be virtues to be cause of liberation from samsara and its causes, then it has to be infused by renunciation. The karma that you commit has to be infused by renunciation. So that way, that particular virtue will result, perfect liberation. Otherwise, just virtue, like human body, is a result of virtue karma, but it's still suffering. The God rebirth in the God realm, demigod realm, are result of virtue and result of neutral karma, but it's still, it's a form of suffering. It's still samsara. So that is not good enough, you see. So we need to create the karma, the virtuous karma that is infused by mind of renunciation. So meaning whenever you commit any virtue, seeing limitation in samsara and karma and delusion, and aspiration in liberation from delusion or samsara, or aspiration in enlightenment, then you perform, virtue like generosity. Then that virtue now become a cause of liberation, you see, so like that. So by then repeatedly contemplating the misery of self-existence, as I mentioned before, the misery of the 6 realms, you see, even you create just a virtue, even you reborn, the result will be in human God and demigod realm, still suffering, it's still samsara. So, so therefore, as long as anything that bring production, rebirth in the sixth realm, not good enough. You see, how you will realize that? By reflecting on the detailed understanding of karma, how karma works. So when you refer to how karma works, then you will come to a definite understanding that, okay, from now on, whatever action I perform, it has to be infused by mind of renunciation. So that way, then not only you avert attraction to this life, but also avert attraction to the appearance of the future lives, future lives. So future life, like being born in a human realm, future life being born in a God and demigod life, you will not have attachment towards that too. You see, now your ambition is, really to achieve liberation. It's a minimum hero's liberation or solitary liberation, But since I met the Mayanic Dharma, my aspiration is to actualize full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. You see, so that way, then you generate genuine sense of renunciation, not only ordinary renunciation, but great renunciation. The renunciation that which also carry the element of compassion. So that way it becomes a great renunciation. So renunciation also has small renunciation, medium renunciation, great renunciation. So here we need to target for the great renunciation. You see, so you practice any form of virtue for the benefit of all sentient beings. So for the benefit of all sentient beings, I shouldn't attach to this life. I shouldn't attach to even the future lives of higher rebirths. I must target full enlightenment like that. Now the definition. Okay, now I'm going to stop soon. Okay, the definition of having generated renunciation. When having trained in that way, there's no arising even for a second of attraction to the perfection of self-existence, and all day and night the intention seeking liberation arises, then the thought of renunciation has been generated. Okay, so aspiration of liberation, aspiration of full enlightenment, is generated day and night. So day and night doesn't mean your heart is always occupied by that. You don't think of food, you don't think of chocolate, or you don't think of anything, not like that. So meaning whenever you have interaction of your mind or your senses with the object, everything, you see the meaning as a condition for liberation, for enlightenment, and you completely see meaningless of attaching or grasping to them. So if you encounter your enemy, you have no sense of aversion at all. Whenever you see your enemy or something that you dislike, immediately you see as a condition to develop your heart. The great renunciation, you see, by generating compassion to this enemy, or things that you don't like, you see, things that you don't like, by understanding of the like such as the mark that if you don't like, then you can't generate compassion to the mark, isn't it? So you have to do something, isn't it? So if you don't like this cup, then instead of have a heart of aversion, which is negative, rather you take onto the path by thinking that, why I don't like this cup, because I have this condemnation of past karma, negative karma. Therefore, I have misinterpretation of this cup. Therefore, I have this disliking or unpleasant about this cup. So therefore, I must overcome this. So the way to do that is I must eradicate this three partial attitude, or I must purify the karma. Like an example like that. So you see, whenever thoughts come about, thinking of your family, and you have a purpose of benefiting them, purpose of them being the reason, for you to be a kinder person, them being the reason for you to quickly achieve liberation. you know. So that way, when you think, when you miss your family, when you're away, it does not become attachment, you know. It does not become you know, obstacle to your renunciation. Rather, they become condition to develop your heart. You see, you see, whenever you are given a task to take care of your family member, you know, you may not have a chance to go for retreat, you know, go for teaching, and then you say, oh no, you know, it's kind of depressed, you know, I cannot go pilgrimage, I cannot go to teaching. Now I need to, you know, stuck here at home taking care of, you know, needy one. You know, no, as someone who is genuinely understand Dharma, now this is opportunity. You know, the needy one is object of my compassion, object of my generosity, object of my respect. You know, is the whole reason of my enlightenment. Is you know, it's like kind of striking a lottery. You know, like that. You know, so you change. You know, you entire your perception is completely changed because of mind of renunciation, like that. So you see, so this is what I mean, day and night. So when you go to sleep, you know, you don't go to sleep with, you know, full of baggage of, you know, concern of the past, you know, or, you know, what I did like this, that, and that, not like this, you know, or full of worry about uncertainty of tomorrow. You don't go to bed like that, you know. So that is either attachment, either aversion, or, you know, it is clinging, yeah, you see, to samsara. So now, when you go to bed, you know, if you have some concern of past, then you just learn to let go. You say, learn to let go, you know, through understanding of, you know, there's no essence in it, you know, why I need to grasp so much, you know, my life lies in the nature of impermanent. You know, I may not live until tomorrow to really to go through the trouble that I'm kind of projecting for day after tomorrow. Or tomorrow, or I can't go back to, you know, solve all the problems that I had before, you know. So rather, everything you learn to kind of dissolve. If you know emptiness, dissolve into emptiness. Or if not, you just learn to let go, you know, or learn to say, oh, this is my karma of the past. Now I should engage, you know, if you know Bodhisattva practice, many of you know, immediately you just recite some Bodhisattva mantra and directly end it on, you know. if you or otherwise the four opponent power, you know, you have some misdeeds have performed, now you regret, and now you can't fall asleep. Now instead of like struggling to sleep, rather meditate on the four opponent power, thinking, oh, okay, you acknowledge, you know, yes, that is a mistake, okay, that's wrong, I shouldn't be doing it, okay, now all the Buddha Bodhisattva, you're omniscient, okay, you're right on my bed, okay, yeah, everywhere, okay. So I'm honestly, sincerely, I really confess. Then, okay, I call your name, Om Tare Tu Tare Tu So, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Bodhisattva Hum, or whatever, you know, or meditate on emptiness, or meditate on whatever, one virtuous thought, compassion, and that becomes antidote, the third opening power. Then the end you say, okay, Buddha or Guru, you know, okay, from now on, you know, I will not do again, you see. So now, really to bring effective purification, and you know that tomorrow you may again, you know, you may again do it, or you may need to go into that environment. You are not 100% sure, but there's one requirement. Until tomorrow morning, until I wake up, even cause of my life, I won't do it. I won't do it, you know. And then, oh, you hold your nose, you remember, until tomorrow I wake up, I will not do it even cause of my life. Because in the teaching emphasize about you need to have a deadline, you know, like must. The best is the rest of your life. But if you can't avoid because of your livelihood or whatever, that you know, and one may be just beginner. You know, one may because of past influence of habitual of delusion and karma, that how much you put dharma, but still you may, you know, you may get knocked out, you know. So so you have to be compassionate to yourself, isn't it? I'm a beginner, okay, Buddha, I'm beginner, you know, I'm learning, I'm doing very hard, but I am beginner, okay. So I can commit until tomorrow morning. After that, then I try my best. So like that, okay? So like this. So then when you wake up with a sense of inspiration, wow, whatever I do today, everything I'm going to dedicate for the cause of numberless sentient beings' liberation, everything, wearing clothes, makeup, jewelries, shoes, wearing shoes, shopping, cooking, breakfast, everything, rest of my life, rest of my existence, rest of my life, especially this very today, from now onward, everything may be cause of numberless sentient beings' liberation. You see your heart full of inspiration. So this is what it means, day and night, thought of renunciation. If you say all day and night, the intention seeking liberation arises, then the thought of renunciation has been generated. Okay, so clarify, otherwise how, I need to think about, I need to focus on driving, I need to think of this, think of that, especially if you are accountants, I need to think of numbers, if I only think of renunciation, then I make a mistake, sometime, we may think like that. So that's what I mean before, okay? So something like that. Okay, I better stop here. I already took extra time of yours. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I better stop here. So we do a short dedication, okay? So whatever merit we accumulate from this session, all the merits accumulated by all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, all the sentient beings, may it be a complete cause for numberless sentient beings actualize state of, from temporary happiness all the way up to the happiness of enlightenment. May this collective merit of ours be a complete cause. This pandemic, the war, the natural disaster, the famine, and all the ups and downs in individuals' life be overcome. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the beings who pass away, in particular in the last 49 days, be free from suffering of death, suffering of intermediate state, suffering of rebirth, and actualize full enlightenment without delaying. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the beneficial people in the world, good people in the world, like such as His Holiness Dalai Lama, Lama Tsongkhapa, all your spiritual gurus, and yourself, your family members, and all the other good people, have a long life, good health, and fulfill their aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the world leaders of the organizations, leaders, whoever lead the family, and yourself who lead your life, heart be free from all the negative emotions, heart filled with all the attitude of loving kindness, compassion, and the wisdom of selflessness and emptiness. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the virtuous institutions like monasteries, nunneries, and all the Dharma centers, and especially the centers in the Switzerland, free from all the inner outer secret obstacles, and actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the Dharma in extensive learning, and as well as actualizing realizations on the stages of the path. Then also understand the merit, the dedicator, the purpose that we dedicate, all lies in the nature of emptiness. Chanjo Samjoram Bacha Maji Panam Jeju Jawani Bomba by Gone Gondo Pewacho, Tony Tower, Bacha Maji Panam Jawani. Gone Gondo Pewacho Tower, Bacha Maji Panam Jeju Jawani, Gone Gondo Pewara, Jambe Bawich, the Chamber Kudo somebody. The Dagon Jeju Daloja Jawa, the Adam Geraldo, Zunjame Jawa, the Mo, Chudong, the Taji Jeves, Sambo Chujer of the Mo, some Geneva, Chini, the Taji to win. Tado Juan, Mever, Pama Sinjet, and the danger to do other such a Sambakon of such. The Dagon Molon Duju, Carrera, Coaching on the Pena de Malation, Jeresa. Shabe City about the danger to Tumjan, Jango, Zinjobe, Kuzo, Chosonko Limited. Azo de Jagondo Sharp Day. Thank you very much, and sorry for taking extra time. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe, from the depths of your heart. I would like to
Thank you, Geshe.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you from the depths of the heart for these precious teachings, and also extend a heartfelt thank you to the team behind us, helping us to be able to present these teachings, and also a big appreciation for those of you who showed up today. Thank you. Without you, there were no students. And again, thank you, Geshe-la. We look forward to next Saturday at 11 in the morning.
Thank you.
And also reminding people and thanking you for your huge generosity. It's because of your graciousness and help we can continue to run these centers and present teachings on Zoom. So thank you, everybody, and see you next Saturday. Bye-bye, everyone. Ciao. Auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao.
Auf
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tschüss.
Bye.
Farvel.
Bye.